shoulder here at LARRS. Today we are going to be talking about bird beaks. You guys are definitely going to want to stay tuned for this one, and remember to hit that subscribe button. Birds' beaks come in all shapes and sizes, and it is not dependent on the species, it is dependent on the bird. So take, for example, Miss Samantha's beak here. So Samantha actually has what I consider to be a very, very small beak for a blue and gold macaw. To be honest, I have never seen a blue and gold macaw with this small of a beak at 15 years of age. Most times when we are seeing problems with birds' beaks, it is because of an underlying medical condition. So take, for example, Mr. Rocco. You can actually tell that he has scissors beak. Now that is where the bottom and top beaks do not line up. Rocco's previous mom was working in a facility that was breeding blue and gold macaws. So she saw that Rocco's egg was being continually pushed out of the nesting area by both of the parents. And so she took it upon herself to take Rocco and take his egg and incubate it and hatch it herself. And Rocco for sure was born with scissors beak. So I'm gonna show you 3 green wing macaws that we have here at the rescue. Now the first one is our very own Mr. Rocky bird. And we did get a comment on one of Rocky's videos that he needed his beak trimmed. But I want you guys to take a look at Pickle's beak. And Pickle is one of the 7 macaws that we rescued recently. And then I'd like you guys to take a look at Tango's beak. Tango is also one of the 7 macaws that we rescued recently. So you guys are gonna notice a little bit of stepping in the beak. That can be attributed to diet and conditions, but the beaks in and of themselves between Rocky, Tango, and Pickles are relatively the same shape and size. So that kind of beak is definitely something that is characteristic of a green wing macaw. So next on the line, we actually have a lot of blue and gold macaws. So besides Miss Samantha, who's sitting on my shoulder here, I want to show you guys what the beaks look like of all of the blue and gold macaws that are here at the rescue. If you are trimming a bird's beak just to trim the beak, we actually recommend against that. Birds have the ability to file down their beaks. So like you see here with Miss Ollie's beak, Ollie actually has striation marks on the outside of her beak. This is from her rubbing her beak against the perches in her home and making sure that she keeps her beak nice and filed down and shaped just how she likes. As opposed to Miss Gracie here, who definitely has an overgrown beak. Now, what we can tell you about Miss Gracie is that she also has a cataract in one eye. So most likely there is some kind of underlying medical condition for Gracie having such a long beak, and that might be associated or might not be associated with the cataract that she has in one eye. Now, Gracie's owners have asked us to do a beak trim for her just to make it easier for her to eat food and get at food. You can see with that very long beak that I just showed you guys that she can have a hard time getting to the bottom of her food dish. So now what we're doing is we're trimming the beak due to a condition that is actually probably affecting her health. So I'm going to show you guys a picture of a bird that was adopted from us several years ago, and her name was Bebe. Now, when we got Bebe, her beak was so long that it was growing into her chest. So Bebe clearly had an underlying medical condition, and so we started doing trimmings on Bebe's beak. Now you guys need to realize also that when you're trimming up a beak, it can be a very gradual process, because what happens is just like what happens with a dog's nails. If your dog's nails are kept untrimmed for too long, the quick can actually grow out into that. And then if you cut too short right away, that's going to lead to bleeding problems. And that is the absolute last thing that you want to happen with your bird, because birds don't have a lot of blood in their body to begin with. So when you're doing these trimmings, you want to make sure to go super duper slow and take it really, really gradually. So this picture is actually from Bebe after we had been doing a number of beak trims on her. Now Bebe's beak is actually at the point where we are able to trim it back and file it so that it looks like a normal beak, but it continues to overgrow all of the time. And so Bebe's owners bring her in to do regular trimmings for this beak to keep it in check, to make sure that Bebe is able to function properly as a bird and hang on to her cage and her perch, and also to eat food. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. And remember, if you ever have any questions about any exotic bird or reptile, definitely feel free to reach out either via Facebook or by email. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.